Welcome into the OKPreps Verbal Commit, another episode of the OKPreps Verbal Commit. I'm Michael Knight, sitting down here with Bixby's Jordan Reagan. You see the OSU helmet right here. He's committed to the Cowboys. But first, before we get into OSU, Jordan, let's talk about Bixby. The Spartans coming off another state championship. Last year, though, was a special one from my perspective as far as watching you guys, because you had a lot of talent that graduated going into last season, a lot of young guys, including yourself, that needed to kind of fill those roles. And, a lot of people were talking about Booker T. They were defending champs. Stillwater was on the rise. Midwest City was on the rise. Talk about how special last season was to go from kind of, being a team that, made it to 4 straight championship games. And then going into last season, you guys were kind of, underdogs going into the year.
Well, for me personally, it meant a lot because that was my first year starting, and it showed me how much I could grow in a year. And I'm sure that it was the same thing for the rest of the team, because we were, I wouldn't say scared, but we were waiting to see how the spots would fill out and how new incoming starters would do. But I think we did pretty good finding those certain people for the certain spots and them being able to do their jobs.
At what point in the year did you guys realize, because look, Coach Montgomery, he's no stranger to knowing what it takes to win titles. Mm-hmm. At what point did you guys know that you had a championship caliber team?
We could see the talent in spring football, getting those people accustomed to what positions they may be playing in. But really, I think it came down to our summer program and seeing what it required of people, and that the people could step up and show what they really had. And then in the season, them just doing their job and actually going through the process.
When it comes to the teams that you have to beat to win a state title, in the district, it starts with Booker T. I think that's kind of become Bixby's biggest rival, at least since the split in 6A. You took care of business in the regular season against the Hornets. Then in the playoffs, you guys absolutely demolished everybody. Blowout Lawton in the first round. You have a close game, another close game with Midwest City, but you get past the Bombers. And then you really take care of business in the championship game. How fun was that playoff run that you guys went on? And we remember the championship games a year ago. All across the state, they were delayed, so you kind of had to wait to lift that gold ball. But how fun was that playoff run a year ago?
It was very fun. I feel like we grew a lot as a team, especially as the championship game with all the delays and stuff. I feel like we were more accustomed to that game because our coach always preaches and talks about facing adversity and what you're going to do when a situation forces you to step out of your comfort zone and how you're going to adjust to it. So I feel like we were really prepared for that game, and that was cool to see how we were tested and how we could come back to that.
Now, looking at yourself, your recruitment, things like that, at what point, I'm sure, before last season, you mentioned you had never started a game before. I'm sure before last season, the goal was to ultimately, become a college recruit, have an opportunity to play college football. At what point did you know that, man, I have a legitimate shot here to not only play college football, but to play it at a pretty high level?
When I was playing during the season, I really didn't think of it so much as I'm going to go to college or I'm doing super well. When I'm playing corner, I'm just more thinking of as I'm doing my job. If I do good, I don't ever celebrate really. I'm just I did my job, that was good. So when it came to it, I didn't I wasn't I'm going to go D1 or that. I was just doing good. It probably first came to me when my mom got a phone from OSU, phone call, and then she told me about it, and I was wow, okay, you might be onto something. So that's probably the beginning of it. And that was a little bit after, it was a little midway during the season.
I always love to hear these stories as far as the first offer, that moment that comes when you realize that it's real. This is a real thing that we have to look at, think about, talk with family about, talk with your coaches, your teammates, whatever's the best fit. Who offered you first, and what was that moment like for you?
I think it was either Navy or West Point, because they were really close to each other. They offered me really back to back. I remember it because I was in Dallas, or I was in Houston for a 7-on-7 tournament with my team. And yeah, I got the offer, and I was just kind of shocked, and I didn't really believe it. And I called my mom; they're all excited about it. But yeah, it's definitely a time to remember.
Now, as far as OSU, obviously you are committed to the Cowboys. Talk about that relationship with the coaches when they finally offered, and how long from when they offered to when you committed. I mean, was that a short process? Was OSU always going to be home for you? Did you grow up a Cowboy fan? Talk us through that.
Well, I'd been talking to OSU for a while. They were the first college that I had contact with, so I definitely they kept in touch with me for a while. I'd gotten the offer after a camp, and I did really well, I guess. I did really well, and I got taken up to Coach Gundy's office, and he offered me, and I committed in about a week. It seemed really short, but in the long run, I'd been talking to them for a while. I'd grown pretty close with the coaches. They seemed like they really cared about me, and cared about me as not only as a player but as a person, and would like to see me grow in both aspects. So I thought it would be the right choice to go there, and I liked the environment and everything. So yeah, I thought it'd be the right fit for me.
And the Bixby to Stillwater Pipeline continues. Mm-hmm. Bryce Bray, Brendan Evers, mm-hmm. just a couple of guys who have played at Bixby who end up playing at Oklahoma State. I know Bryce is competing for that starting left tackle spot this fall. Jordan, at the time that we're recording this, and I say that because there could be more by the time we publish it, there's 6 guys in Oklahoma that are committed to OSU. Including your teammate Brennan Presley, Zach Middleton from Bishop Kelly as well. You were one of the early guys to commit. Zach then committed later on. Brennan committed over the summer in July. How close are you with the guys, not only in the Tulsa area, Zach and Brennan? Obviously, I'm assuming you're pretty close with Brennan, being teammates. Yeah. But how close are you guys with the other guys in Oklahoma that are committed?
Well, we actually have a group chat that we text pretty often, so we do keep in touch with each other. Me and Brennan, obviously, we talk all the time. We're like best friends. Zach Middleton, I'm pretty close with too. He's on my 7-on-7 team, senior 7-on-7. So we talk pretty often, and then I also just hang out with him outside of football too. So I'd say I'm pretty close with the players that are going to go to OSU with me.
Now, I mentioned Brennan committing in July, and obviously, I mean, that was the 6th guy who committed to OSU. The Cowboys going to continue to recruit Oklahoma. They have several prospects that they're going after. How excited were you? I'm assuming, did Brennan tell you before he announced it, or did you find out like everybody else?
I mean, I kind of knew. I was kind of like guessing or thinking he would, and then he told me a little bit before he announced it to everyone, so I knew a little bit before everyone.
How excited were you when he hit you up and like, man, I'm joining you. I'm going to stay with you, and we're going to Stillwater?
I was very excited about it because through high school and like still to the day, he pushes me to become better like in the weight room and on the field, and I feel like him going to OSU would really help because we could still be able to push each other to be better.
Now, let's look at this season for Bixby because, I mean, look, you guys obviously have bright futures headed to Stillwater, but before you do that, you have one more year of high school ball coming up, trying to continue this dynasty, and I call it a dynasty. Look, when you win 4 rings in 5 years, that's a dynasty in my mind. Trying to win another championship with the Spartans. You guys have a lot of talent coming back on both sides of the ball. What has to happen for Bixby to continue this dynasty run and win another state championship?
I really think it comes down to just being disciplined. Because we have the great coaching and we know what we need to do in order to go for that gold ball or like possibly get it again. So I think it's just staying disciplined and doing what we need to do every day, on and off the field and practicing. Yeah, I think it just comes down to discipline.
Jordan, thank you sitting down with me today. Mm-hmm. Congratulations on your commitment to Oklahoma State. Congratulations on being a state champ again, Bixby. And good luck to you and the Spartans this fall.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
He's Jordan Reagan. I'm Michael Knight, and this has been another episode here with the OKPreps Verbal Commit.